My next guest is coming off a huge win over Mayra Bueno Silva at UFC Saudi Arabia a few weeks back. Had to catch up with her. It's Jasmine Jasudavicius back here on the program. Jasmine, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm doing awesome. Didn't get a big win like you a couple weeks ago. And by the way, I'm here for Home of Fight. I forgot to mention that off the top. Shout out to Home of Fight. Before we talk about the win, though, your friend, training partner, Weili Zhang, big win last weekend over Tatiana Suarez. Unbelievable performance. What did you think of that? And were you expecting her to be that dominant?
A little bit. Like I had the opportunity to train with her once while I was down there, but like I was able to watch how she does it, how she trains. Like it was very inspiring for me to see how a champion trains and just like kind of reassurance, like, okay, I'm doing the right work,
Yeah.
like on Christmas and on New Year's there wasn't many people in the gym, but both like we were in there and we were training hard and every day, and so it was very cool to see, as well, like her performance. She looked amazing everywhere. I kind of had a feeling going in, like, I mean, I've never trained with Tatiana and I haven't been to Vegas in a couple years now, probably. But after feeling how Weili felt, it would have been like 4 weeks or whatever before she fought, and like feeling what she felt like, I was like, ooh, this is gonna be a good one. Like I always kind of like bet on the wrestler, just because of my heart, I have to. And after feeling her, I was like, I don't know if I can bet on Tatiana. Like,
Mhm.
not that I really bet,
Mhm.
but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It was, I guess, a little bit expected, but at the same time, to watch it actually happen was very cool.
What did you think after the first round? Because obviously Tatiana did have success there. She got the takedown, wasn't able to do a whole lot with it. But did you think it's like, okay, Weili's going to take over here? Or did you think that Tatiana was going to have more success with those takedowns?
Um, I I mean, I saw Weili's obviously defense. I was like, "Ew, this is gonna be tough for Tatiana to get the takedown." But at the same time, somebody can shoot, 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 and usually that's less tiring than the person defending. So it wasn't until probably like the second round that I was just like, "Oh, okay." Like I think that Weili's kind of gonna continue on this and kind of have the success that she did.
Do you think the cut played a role at all in the fight? Tatiana had that weird injury on her knee with, I guess it was against the cage or something. I think Weili still would have won the fight, but it just like that was kind of like a weird thing that happened in the fight.
Yeah, that was odd, but I mean, there's always going to be things that happen in the fight. Like you go in there knowing that there's a good chance that something happens and you're going to have to deal with it. So, I mean, I don't think it was like anything to write home about. It was weird, but it's a fight. Things are going to happen.
Yeah, nothing's crystal clear or clean in fights like that. Oh, still got you. There you go. Sorry, you cut it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're all good. I was just going to mention that just last thing on Weili, there is some talk. I think people with that type of performance where they want to see her move up to 125, maybe fight Valentina. Obviously that's your division, but what would you think of her having success at 125? Because she looks very strong for 115.
Yeah, I mean, I think she's super talented. I feel like no matter where she goes, she would find success. But yeah, we'll see what doors open up for her.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Okay, back to you. Speaking of dominant, that was a pretty dominant win you had over Mayra Silva. I know you didn't really know what to expect because obviously Mayra's fought at 135 a lot. I know she's fought at 125, but that was a while back. Did the fight kind of play out how you thought it would, looking back on your performance?
I guess like yes, a little bit. Like I kind of obviously anticipated like it would kind of be like that. But at the same time, I go in there kind of with a clean slate. I don't really try to expect too much or expect too little or really have any expectations. So I mean, yes and no, I guess it did. Like I train so that I can have performances like that I can be dominant everywhere, and so I train like super hard to try to make it like that, but you never know.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Anything surprise you in the fight from Mayra, or maybe your performance? Like anything looking back, what was a bit of a surprise?
Uh, Nothing really. Like I mean, it was awkward because like I like her. She's my friend. I don't really like. I don't like fighting one of my friends. I understand. I do it every single day in sparring and everything that I'm kind of trying to scrap my friends. But I mean, it's different in a real fight, and it's like so awkward. I want to message her and just be like, "Hey, thinking about you, like wishing you all the best, like love you." But that's weird. I don't know. Like it sucks that martial arts has like a win and a loss, and I know what it feels like to lose, and it sucks, and I hate that like I'm the person that caused her to have those feelings of losses. But at the same time, like I do understand it's a business, and like I know that her and Gloria are like gonna go and have a family, and I was like talking to her after, and they're gonna have a baby. I'm just like on top of the world, excited for them, and it was like such an honor to be able to go against her in the octagon. Like she's super talented, and so just like an honor to fight in Saudi Arabia, a woman's fight, first UFC women's fight in Saudi Arabia, and to do it with somebody that I like genuinely care about was like a very cool thing for me.
Okay, well that's good. You've never really had that before, having to fight a friend like that, not to that level.
Not no, like I mean there's other girls that I fought that like yeah, we're kind of friends or we kind of know each other, but like you know when you go and you travel places and you meet someone and you just like click with them, it was like one of those with her, and so it was like challenging.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. And then your overall experience in Saudi, how was that, getting to fight in the Middle East?
It was really cool. I didn't really know what to expect going there, and I'm like super happy to have that experience to go over there and experience like sober Saudi, as Jelly Jelly and I called it.
Yeah.
But it was like cool. The people were so kind and welcoming, and like I wasn't sure how receptive they would be to like the first like woman fight there, and I love going through the crowd like high-fiving before the fight, but I did, you know, because of the religion and everything, I didn't know how they were going to be. I heard that everyone was kind of like going to be more silent, and so I didn't know, but the music started, I started walking out, and I saw people with their hands over the barrier for high fives. I said, "Let's go, baby." Okay. So it was cool. Everyone was super receptive and like supportive, and they were about it.
So UFC Montreal, I'm assuming that's what you want on next. I imagine you're going to be a leading candidate to be on that card because you're going to want to have some Canadians on there. Is that good timing for you too, with it being in May and all that? That seems like something that would work out for you.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of wanted to take a look. I've been like the most active fighter. I don't like the most active female. I don't know about fighter, but like I've fought 7 times since 23. The closest girl to me was like 4. So I've almost fought double what the other girls are what they're fighting. So I mean, I do want to fight in Montreal. It's like pretty close to home. It's only like a 6, 7 hour drive. So it would be nice. But at the same time, if I don't get like a good matchup, then I'm okay with not fighting and supporting my team. Like I know Mike and Siri, chances are they're gonna get on the card if they're not on already.
I think
haven't
Siri
asked
got
them,
booked
but
already, didn't he? He's on that. I thought I saw that he's fighting already on a different card. Or am I wrong about that?
oh, is he?
Yeah.
I
I'll
just
find out
got
right now.
back.
Yeah. But yeah, and because I know like it was him, and I know Jillian Robertson also has a fight book. That was another person that I was wondering could be on that card. But yeah, Siri's fighting. Looks like he's fighting May 3rd. Actually, it's weird. He's fighting like not that long before the card. He's fighting. Is that the Idaho card? He's fighting Cameron Smotherman on that event.
Oh,
May
I
3rd on
did
the
see
Fight
that.
Night.
That's right. Yeah, I did
Yeah.
see that.
But yeah, as far as Malott though, and you know the other guys, I mean, obviously they're free, so you know.
Yeah, and it would be cool to see Jillian again. I get to see her occasionally. We got to do that puck drop that we completely butchered in Vancouver. So, it'll be like cool to be on the other side or fighting. Either way, I'll kind of be happy.
So but if I'm hearing you right, it would have to be kind of like a big name or good opportunity for you to fight on Montreal. You just don't want to fight anyone because you'd rather have some time off, right?
Yeah,
and that's fair, by the way. I don't think that. I mean, that's totally fair, So
Yeah, I feel bad saying it because I'm like, I want to fight, but at the same time, I need a little bit of the sand to settle.
Yeah, well, and you don't want to overdo it either, right? So assuming like they threw a name at you like Maycee Barber or like Rose or like Erin Blanchfield, like that would kind of fit the bill, I would think. Just someone that has that name value. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so yeah, that kind of lines up. When would be the ideal time for you to get back if you could pick?
I don't know. I mean, like probably June, July. We'll see. I don't know who's booked or what their timeline is. I understand that I have to go a little bit by theirs right now as well. So I don't know, kind of up to the UFC, up to the other girls. I just open to get a big opportunity and keep climbing my way to that belt.
Do you get the sense the UFC is really happy with you because that was a really dominant win again against someone who fought for a title? I know a different weight class, but do you get the sense like they're behind you? Like it would seem that way with the fact that again, you've gone on this nice winning streak and you're someone that obviously being Canadian as well too. I'm sure they like having fighters that are not just from the US they can use for different cards, right? So.
I think so, and I'm pretty easy to deal with. Like I always make weight. I'm never trying to like screw around with that. I think that I'm pretty easy to deal with, so I think that they're like cool about booking me, which is nice. I really appreciate them like being receptive and booking me like very frequently. I'm grateful to always every fight that I have. I'm grateful to the UFC for put me on that card.
Yeah. Is there an ideal opponent next, or you just leave that up to whatever the UFC wants to do? Like if you could pick who you could fight, is there anyone that stands out, or is it just leave it up to your coaches in the UFC?
Pretty much leave it up to the coaches UFC. Okay. Obviously the girls you mentioned would be great. I would love all three of those matchups, but kind of whatever doors open up, I'm happy to walk through them.
I mean, it looks like it's going to happen next. Manon Fiorit, Valentina Shevchenko. Who wins that fight? That's in your division. Big matchup if it does end up happening. Might happen in Montreal. I could see it making sense with that, with Manon being French, obviously. A lot of people in Quebec speak French. How do you see that fight potentially playing out if they were to lock horns?
That's a tough fight. I could see it kind of going either way, but Valentina's been at the top for a long time, and I could see like new blood being able to get in there, and I think Fiorit would be able to take it. I mean, never know because it's a fight, but if I gotta choose, that's what I go with.
Yeah, fair enough. So yeah, you go Valentina in that one.
Yeah.
Okay. Something I found out recently. So I interviewed Fatima Kline before her last fight, and I know you two had fought. Fatima and her team were on the same card on something, and I'm like, oh, did you see Jasmine? She's like, oh, I'm not a big fan of her camp. And I'm like, why? And she said, oh, her corner said something to me that was disrespectful. She wouldn't get into specifics. My question to you is, are you even aware of this? Because I didn't even know this was a thing.
I have no idea what. I wish she went into details.
I know she didn't say. She said there was something that was disrespectful, but I don't know. Like she wouldn't say what it was. Like I didn't really dig. She's like, oh, I'm just not a fan of them. There's no reason for me to say hi to her or whatever. I mean, you guys aren't going to fight again. They're in a different weight class, but you and Erin could potentially fight, and I wonder if that's like a thing. But I was unaware of this, and she brought it up. So I'm only asking because I didn't know if you knew either.
No, I don't know. I have no idea. Like. I can't see my corner saying anything disrespectful. That's the odd thing. Like the guys. Chris,
yeah, no, of course, Chris
Jelly,
and Jelly and them. Yeah, that's what I mean. So that's why I was a little bit confused. So I don't know if maybe she thought she heard something. I don't know, but I thought that was odd because I didn't even bring up anything about you two fighting. It was just it was more like, hey, did you see Jasmine on the card? Oh, you know what it was? It was Edmonton because Erin had fought Rose, so you were on that card too, right? So I was like, did you see? Because I know Fatima always corners Erin Blanchfield. I was like, did you did you see Jasmine? Because you guys fought. Like, I know there was no bad blood or anything, but it was just a general question. Like, did you see her and did you talk to her? And she's like, no, I didn't see her, but I wouldn't want. It was something like, oh, I'm not happy with her camp or something. So she just kind of brought that up. So I'm not trying to cause anything. I was just more curious if they're like you knew or whatever, and you don't. So we can move on from that. On a positive note, are you going to be watching the Four Nations this week? The hockey thing. I don't know. Are you a hockey fan at all? Do you watch it all?
I mean, I'll watch just because, it's kind of like a big one going on, but I'm not the greatest at like watching other sports.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. You would be surprised how many fighters don't watch like other sports, because fighting it's on, like, there's so much to cover. There's so much going on. Right. So it's, yeah, it's tough to keep track of everything. And what else you got planned? So I know you're training right now. Anything else you got planned? You going on any? Well, I mean, you kind of were on a trip a little bit. It was like a training trip, but you got anything planned, like any vacation time or anything, or what are you up to?
Nothing planned yet. I've got a bunch of teammates that are all fighting soon, so I'm able to actually go to their fights and like be there. I missed Christmas and New Year's and everything, so I feel like I'm doing a lot of like a mini trip, not like trips, but like mini celebrations places, and like seeing my friends that I didn't get to see, seeing my family that I didn't get to see for the last couple months. So I'm really having an enjoyable time, like catching back up with all of them. Even prior to this fight, I kind of almost like I would see them, but I wouldn't be like engaging with them because I'm thinking about the fight. It's like I'm always thinking about martial arts, and like right now I have some free time to kind of chill and be actually with my loved ones and like be engaging with them and be receptive, you
Mhm.
know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I totally get it, and that's a lot of sacrifice, missing that time, the holidays. But again, it was for the greater good, and that was you getting the big win there at UFC Saudi. Jazz, thanks for doing this. Really appreciate it. If there's anyone you want to thank before we get out of here, any sponsors, any social media you want to mention, I'll give you the last word.
Just always want to thank my teammates and my gym and TT and my coaches, and wouldn't be able to do it without all of them. So just thankful to them.